Hello everyone, I'm CDWall, and today we continue reading World and Economica. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. Well, to be honest, I'm still a little bit ill. So, actually, because of that, I'm not sure about this stream. Maybe it's gonna be a short one. I mean, shorter than our usual short streams. Because, well, since I'm ill, it may be gonna be a little bit hard to read for me. But I actually record the reaction for the bacteria diaries like hour ago, and everything was more or less alright. So, well, but for reaction I was talking much less, so I guess we'll see. Also, I made a finally button for mute myself. Yeah, and it's working good. So now I can press button if I starting counting. Honestly, I was need to do this a long time ago, but for some reason I always forget. Well, I almost kinda bad with hotkeys. I don't use them, well, pretty much anywhere, even in games and stuff. I just mouse guy. When, well, to be honest, even hotkey for mute myself, I put on the mouse. Anyway, so what do we read before? Where we stop? Let's actually check because I don't remember. No, I guess previous episode was a hamburger episode. Oh, actually, 1 second. Yep. Sorry. I just realized I forget to post, or at least schedule post for the boosting for the apothecary diaries. I did it just now. But yeah, I want to check what was our last stream. I believe it was burger stream. Or it was one before previous one. Just to understand. Where did we stopped? Yeah, it was a burger stream. Okay. So, which means on previous stream we pretty much, well, have conversation between Haru and Eleanor when they decided to go and actually check data what they get about Avalon. Since everything seems alright on the documents, they want to check if it's alright in real life. As, yes, they last resort to actually catch Avalon on something wrong. After this, we have conversation between Haru and Lisa, but Haru actually never talked with Chris, I believe. Which is a little bit sad. And I also starting to believe what there's not gonna be a romance between Haru and Chris. He's probably gonna turn her off. I mean, there is still a little chance. But yeah. Anyway, so now I believe we're gonna start, or at least continue, about Eleanor and Haru. Because it is day when they wanted to start visiting places. And yeah. Oh. Okay. Actually, I wanted first. Well, we're starting with actual conversation between Haru and Chris. Haru and Chris. Actually, let's just start reading. Let me drink. Okay. The next day, I apologized to Chris about yesterday as she was headed off to the office. Chris smiled, saying it was fine, but that sad face she made yesterday when we parted ways certainly wasn't my imagination. What Lisa said still hit home with me. Because of that, I didn't give Chris the gift. Also, when I had said that I'd gone for about 2 days for stuff regarding Avalon's analysis, she was clearly shaken. From little swing, I realized it was about Cyril's get-together. Only male research is coming. That must be pretty worrying for Chris. I told her I should be able to go with her. Seeing Chris relieved, big smile made me feel warm all over, too. There was love that hit you like a lightning bolt, and there was love you need to nurture. I truly felt Lisa was right about that. But we actually don't really get proper conversation between Chris and Haru. Maybe it's gonna be in the future. Anyway. Before noon, we both headed off towards Newton City. Chris was headed to the office, so we parted ways in front of the station. I made a remark about how she seems to carefree going to work today after having cut so many losses yesterday. When I said that aloud, Chris stuck out her tongue and took off mischievously. She then turned around and waved, showing none of the sadness from when we parted yesterday. Is Chris hiding her feelings? It feels so. Anyway, when I headed to the Royal Central Hotel, there was what looked like a tourist group from Earth, instead of the usual covering of men and women in formal wear and limousines. They probably came out to eat and have a look around. I passed by the crowd, looking curiously about, and I was greeted with a smile by a hotel staffer who'd come to recognize me as I entered that golden elevator. When you look out from the 50th floor, the spatial divide is visible through the dome, even in the afternoon. I rang the bell for room 5002, and Eleanor soon opened the door. I was wearing a hat. I looked ready to go, but when I saw her get up, I was a bit surprised. Okay, I have no idea about fashion, but for some reason I feel like her hat don't really work with her attire. I don't know why I have this feeling. Maybe it's because it's her usual attire, and we don't really seen her with this hat before. Hard to say. Anyway. Yes. When Eleanor questioned me, I frantically shook my head, side to side. Eleanor looked over her outfit, wondering if there was something odd about it. No, I think it's fine. That's all I could say. Just carrying a parcel and a trunk. It looks like she was heading off to a fancy resort. That's stability for you, I guess. A thought crossed my mind with mixed amusement and shock. I mean, do they... What about the transport that they gonna do? Do they hire someone? Or, some taxi, transport? If so, it's gonna be useful for them, since they need to check a lot of places. But I'm not sure. Because if they gonna use some how it's called, regular ones, transport for regular people, then she definitely gonna be noticeable. Anyway, Are we going right now? Yes, that's fine with you. Then let's get going. Splendid. Let us call for a driver. We're off to the port. But this here is a bit. Then, after dragging that trunk around with a defiant lack of elegance, she finally stumbled. Shall I take it? No, I'm fine. It seemed like It seemed like the thick carpeting was making it even harder to drag. What's she bringing with her? Is she bringing some documents? Or books? I mean, probably documents, but why? Don't really make sense. Even so, I was dumbfounded just thinking what could be in it. A tea set? Or maybe bulbs? This world me. Oh. Okay. So the rest is for bulb, I guess. I don't think it the case. Let's try to get to the elevator. Saying this, I reached out to help her. When we reached the lobby, hotel staff assisted without even needing to be asked. We were finally able to make it safely to a car, and we crossed over the lunar capital, arriving at the port. This was where ships going back and forth between here and there landed and took off. And there was an enormous crowd, announcement blared incessantly, and there were a great deal of people carrying as much luggage as Eleanor. The majority headed towards the ground and the ground tunnels, being either stuck in or ejecting out, which left a strong impression on me that this really was a gate connecting to a different world. This is rather amazing place. Huh? Ah, that's right. You're lunar born. Eleanor smiled a bit as she said that. Please take me back. I cannot forget that feeling when I first arrived on the moon. It was 5 years ago. If I were going to Earth, I'd probably feel the same. Yeah, I would recommend it. Eleanor said that and walked on, drawing her trunk along into the port. Interlunar charter ship that would be over there. Ah, that's correct. We followed the directions to the designated area for embarking and disembarking private ships and ferries. On the surface of the moon, there were low-gravity experimental installations, territories for each country of the world, and mines and generators. The majority of the visitors seemed to be scholars and laborers, but you could see tourists among them. They were probably going to ride the sightseeing boat that circled around the city. We finished up the simple paperwork and stepped on to the conveyor belt that would take us underground, running through the dome's protective layer. Colonel came out, quite courteously, saying beyond this point was outer space. Above then rose up, and on the other side of that reinforced glass wasn't blue sky, but the endless enveloping darkness of space. Isn't this exciting? Eleanor said that rather excitedly, seeming to be in high spirits. Those going from Earth get pretty excited when they see outer space, but I'm just the opposite. Space, cold and terribly vast. There were quite a few people who became stricken with the fear of being swallowed up by the vastness of space. It was called astrophobia. It was similar to acrophobia and claustrophobia. But I was scared of space in a different way. I guess I was more afraid of the vast openness of space, making me realize how insignificant and meaningless I was. I headed to the dock right behind Eleanor, while I pondered whose wings. What awaited us were stubby personal spaceships. I'm told they're space camping ships. There are bedrooms and showers. Apparently, they're quite comfortable. But the fact that they're autopiloted is a bit safer than having a person at the wheel. I understand the logic. However, if there's an accident, it will at least be a person's fault, not a machine's. When I said that, Eleanor gave a wry smile and nodded. It seems I'm still an earthling. I think this is more about growing accustomed to it. That may be so. When we finished that exchange, Eleanor and I passed through the final gate and through the pressurized cabin and entered the ship. It seemed to be designed as living quarters. It was more like entering a hotel room than a ship. Let's be off then. Top question: will they program this autopilot? As they need to visit different places. And I also don't think these places usual tourist attractions. I mean, maybe. Hmm, well, maybe closer fields with solar panels can be tourist attractions, but definitely not the far, farther ones. And I think most interesting for this investigation going to be one who people don't really visit it. I guess we'll see. Learn said that as the door closed, far off, a bush could be heard as air was sucked out. Hmm. There's a pile of dresses in her luggage, not her long chairs, stuffed animals, or pillows. Smiles of papers and work equipment. I mean, okay, it was all this. From everything that we know from Eleanor. After all, she has obsession with her researchers. So probably it's gonna be papers on Avalon. Or maybe she has another workers with UDU, what she need to do right now. After all, they gonna spend 2 days on this investigation. Or at least this trial. Anyway. I'm suddenly relieved from meetings and recordings. You see? Okay, so it indeed her work. Um, by the way, this ship seems kinda a little too big. At least if they get it for themselves. Because I get if there are gonna be another passengers. Anyway. This in the common room was the only place that had space to arrange the books and documents Eleanor brought with her. To remove the chairs into the corner, I looked on, more impressed than astonished, as she took out one thing after the other. Is paper that good? Certainly. I adore it so. It's partly because I grew accustomed to it when I was younger, but also because I have had many unexpected encounters thanks to it. Unexpected encounters? Yes, for example, flipping through randomly for necessary uh, points and encountering information I never expected. Randomly going through them, then I stuck on something and encountering a solution I never considered. Interesting. A digital medium is quite exceptional for searching, but those encounters don't happen often. So, it's this necessity of waste. Here, these are but my own conclusions. Certainly, are also times where I just cannot find that I'm looking for and become furious. Furious. The word was unbecoming of Eleanor. For that very reason, felt so amiable. Yet I felt that what she became, her powerful mind turning her into amazing search engine, covering notes in lipstick, because it was the closest things in reach. That hotel room with whose in, innumerable, innumerable tags is for hours to West Station, right? Asked Eleanor as I watched her diligently spread out and prepare the paperwork. I believe so. I do apologize, though. Occupying this entire area at all. Not at all. This work you're doing is how we were able to borrow such a good ship, isn't it? I suppose you could say that. The personal quarters are quite amazing too. I'll be reading if you need me. Digital, mind you. I take that as Cal being conservative in regards to encounters. As I made insinuations about the appearance of the desk, never came back with a clever quip. It wasn't that she putting on airs, nor did it feel intimidating like the Lisa. Rather, it gave me a better understanding of what the word allegiance means. Well, well, I can't say I have many friends. Yeah, I do have my own personal views regarding that point. Eleanor said that jokingly, just as Eleanor had said, I found it difficult to imagine friends around the same age as Eleanor. You did say you came to the lunar surface 5 years ago. Yes, when I was 13. 13. That's how I found out Eleanor was 18. Eleanor had that sort of air about her. She would make you believe you're no matter what age she said she was. She was slender and honestly had a baby face. It'd be believable if she said she was an intelligent and precocious 13 years old. It would be just as believable to hear she was ingenious but innocent 22 years old. Hey, I've heard the thought of attending a boarding school. I rather selfishly said that if I were going to go away, I might as well go to the moon. And then it came to the moon. That's quite a tale. Is it true? Ahem was quite the princess. I mean, a selfish wealthy girl. It's hard to imagine the Eleanor before me as that. But when I thought about it, the arrogant mannerism of Susie Wu were masterfully executed. Her stubbornness to never forgive those who stained her family's name was rather abnormal. My father adored me, all the same. Right as he transferred his company to the moon, I came with him, and my parents had me sent to a school, but I didn't go there any longer than half of the entrance ceremony. Around that time, I had become completely enamored by this world through the investment my grandfather was running. That's why, compared to the stock market, school, how can I put this, appeared to standing still. I barely went to my own school, so I do relate to that somewhat. That's so? No doubt, I really try to live by that old saying, more haste, less speed. More haste, less speed. Eleanor whispered that to herself, her lips growing into a smile. If she eaten some kind of bittersweet fruit. How true. I wonder why I was in such a fluster back then. Fluster? Yes, it was right around when I was entrusted with a bit of stock from Godfather Company, Wetzer and Zelga. What I was gaining in the company was practically nothing, but I did assume the airs of a manager. The first time I attended a round-table company meeting, I had felt as though it might burst with pride. Could practically see the young Eleanor, her chest puffed out, proudly standing upright. However, the pride came with the feeling that I had to grow up and learn quickly. From that point on, I studied investing frantically. That grandfather learned I hadn't even made time to shower how to let go forward. Her story sent a wave of nostalgia, washing over me and filling me up inside. Not taking showers, not sleeping stretched out properly, with the razor sharp senses of an animal, feeling that there was a realm that couldn't be reaching by doing all that. At the same time, I felt my heart tightened, yet somehow relieved, upon hearing I wasn't the only one to believe that. It's kinda interesting because even with Haru, kind of often seeing Hagana in Eleanor, but well, Eleanor really is much more similar to Haru it's, himself. Well, Haru years ago. Hmm. They move. And taught me manners sort of. Until, for days when he served me, was past the point of using knives and forks. Was at a stage where I only. Sorry. I was at a stage where I only ever ate things I could hold in one hand. Imagine that from you, how you are now. I regard your eating the hamburger. And so out of the question. Yeah, you're quite a tease, Hal. Nor said that and gave us somewhat giddy side. It was quite fun, however. For certain, I was progressing just by moving forward. I feel very much the same, but I feel that if you had met each other 4 years ago, we wouldn't even have given each other the time of the day. Nor appeared to be surprised, as what I said, then tilted her head a bit and began giggling. It could be so. Looking back, I can't help but cringe at what a rude little girl I used to be. I felt exactly the same. I scared the little punk, but as I spoke, my eyes dropped of their own volition from the nostalgia. I guess I had a few endearing qualities. Yeah, it's like you read my mind. Then, shouldn't there also be room for extra stipulations? Stipulations? Then returned to the world with a question, then closed her eyes and giggled in understanding. You mean, until we combine revocable mistakes, I gower. You might find me saying this quite absurd, but what could it be? I'm rather grateful to you in that regard. Smile remained on Eleanor's face as the rest of her expression left her face. The expression alone asked, what could you mean by that? An irrevocable mistake can be fixed, or at least people exist who believe that. Eleanor stared at me, taking a big breath, then forced a bigger smile as she looked away for a bit. Since I spent the last 4 years figuring irrevocable mistakes can't ever be fixed. And now? Now? Well, thinking a bit, I spoke. There are those who boldly step into places I was too afraid to set foot into. I feel now that if I stand behind them, then I might just be able to recover fix a part of that mistake. That's rather conservative. I'm lunar born. Lunar borns are wimpy. My. Eleanor said that, then giggled. Then, after laughing for a while, shrugged a bit. Expressions of if if facing. Hmm? I think my head should know this. The word self-effacing. Oh, but hmm. Anyway, when I was about to give up, I really did lose it when I was asked if it was enough. Yes, it was rather frightening. Please don't say that. Even if you're joking. I really regret. Sorry. I apologize, but I didn't put any emotion into it. Never appeared somewhat heavy being told that. If I could move my face, I'd certainly be smiling. And I was truly startled upon hearing there was something left to do. When I said it, I actually didn't have any plan in mind, though. What? I just came up with it. I really didn't want things to end there. But my motive for that, how can I say it? I passed, felt unsure, but felt no point in hiding it. I felt like Eleanor would understand. I just felt like it would work out. Taking after and going deeper, to a point that anyone else might think we were being foolish. And then, if we still couldn't fix any of our mistakes, then I felt I'd be able to accept my defeat. Eleanor made a rather curious face, as if unsure whether she could be angry or happy. Don't you think so normal would tell me to give up upon hearing what I was trying to accomplish? Well, it's mostly my delusions of grandeur. Yeah, if it were anyone else, I'd have thrown them from the ship. But I do feel that there's someone fit to the chase after the delusions of grandeur. I cannot deny it. Really, touching such as an exceptional big corporation and going out into the empty desert on the moon to inspect their actual grounds practically, is practically paranoia. Why, yes, even I couldn't imagine doing such a thing. But won't you allow it? Even after all this, it was still no good. I asked, Eleanor's chin wrinkled a bit. She was still smiling, but it almost looked as if she was going to cry. I will laugh. I believe I can laugh and tell grandfather it was no good. I feel that's important. Yes, surely. It may be true. Eleanor let out a long sigh, relaxed as if large burden had been lifted from her shoulders. Above her pillow in that hotel room was crimson coat of arms. Don't forget what you have done. Thinking about it, that could have been a torture device Eleanor used on herself. I understood that feeling up too well. That unmoving left leg and face of mine were probably the same. I couldn't possibly forgive myself. But I had felt that this thing with Eleanor was the first step in someone being able to forgive myself. At the very least, when I saw Eleanor, I felt I shouldn't blame myself that much. If that was so, then maybe I should have listened to that both Lisa and Chris said to me. Eleanor was my mirror image. Possibly even more than that. Alright, now on Haru. Um, what? Admitted. Anyway. However, I did have one doubt about you. Doubt? Yes, you will get mad if I tell you, will you? I might lose it and start yelling. Hehe. Ron laughed then spoke as if it were nothing at all. In all honesty, I wondered if you just felt sympathy for me. Sympathy? A pitiful, foolish girl. There, with that single phrase, I was able to paint a clear picture of that sort of girl Eleanor had been. Frankly speaking, I didn't think of you as unfortunate and foolish. Hmm? But I reached out to you because I wanted to recover what I've lost 4 years ago. So no matter how you look at it, I was just thinking of myself. Something as noble as sympathy. But don't worry about that. Also, you call out to me because you felt sympathy. Honestly speaking, I did think of you as unfortunate and foolish. That's rather harsh. But I did feel that you could totally be of use, both as an investor and as support system for his delusions of grandeur. So I never ever once felt that it was to save you, as Lisa had hoped. Lisa said that? Yes, he's undoubtedly a good person. But I also feel she may be why you're so weak-willed. I'm so relieved I now meet the Eleanor of yesteryear. I apologize. It appears we have gone up in attitude. This mask of mine, held in place by gravity, seems to have slipped a bit. Eleanor purposely held onto her face as she said it. Now that she'd mentioned it, my body did well, like it was floating. When you higher on the moon, the gravity became noticeably lower. Then things were pleasant because of the gravity rather than the conversation. Yeah, certainly. I find it hard to believe that us agreeing on all these points was simply a coincidence. There was no hesitation in Eleanor's words. It felt very clear how far each of us would go with that we said. Maybe somewhere deep down, was with similar experiences, pursuing similar goals were connected. I hadn't felt like this since I was with Hagana. Mm, I hope he not gonna felt in Eleanor. Because I don't know. For some reason, if he gonna feel onto Eleanor, into Eleanor, yeah, don't know how right to say it. I feel it's gonna be feeling like Eleanor gonna be a replacement of Hagana, since he now pretty much saying what he feels still similar when he with Eleanor. Mm, maybe just because right now I am more shipping him with Chris, even if I don't really believe it's gonna be the case. For some reason, I believe it's probably gonna be him and Hagana and as in game. But maybe I'm wrong. It can surprise me. Anyway, this became somewhat of a long conversation. Sorry for interrupting your work. Not at all. I've never had an opportunity to talk with someone like this. Eleanor looked at me as she said that. I certainly couldn't deny that. All in all, neither Chris nor Lisa were like me. They were probably victims of the event back then, but they weren't perpetrators. I looked back into Eleanor's beautiful eyes and gave a small shrug. I'll take a nap in my room. Or, if there was anything I could help with, I'll lend a hand. I ask you if there's something I could help you with. That's probably her way of saying not worry about it. In actuality, Eleanor didn't appear as driving into a corner as I had feared, like sleeping by my side. I tossed a turn a lot. I knew that was a lie from seeing her bed in that hotel room, but I continued. Looks like we found something we don't have in common. Yes, finally. Smiling on Eleanor's face as she looked at the documents in her hand. That I walked no further, got up from my chair, and headed to my room. Upon exiting the room, I could see the outer space landscape clearly from the corridor's window. I expected no lights from a storage ship. It was still rather dark, as we were on the side where the sun wasn't visible yet. I really wish this we will not have more budget. But I guess we have what we have. Anyway, I actually located. Mm, it was still rather dark. We were on the side where was the sun visible yet, but I couldn't tell a soft light was passing through the window into a unlit corridor. There was always light. I remained true in the ever-spanning darkness of the space. I headed back to my room and laid down, thinking of that. I felt as if the ship had almost completely entered zero gravity. Staring at the ceiling, I felt that it was probably just my imagination. Question: should we continue? I went between reading books on my tablet and responding to a casual message from Chris. I fell asleep. I checked the time. We are getting close to our estimate arrival time at the way station. will with the panel on the room displaying location data. It's gone to 2000 kilometers from the lone capital. The capital, you can rarely see distance greater than 10 kilometers. Don't really put the distance into perspective, but considering the Earth, which was in view, it was about 300,000 kilometers away. Maybe it was not the great at distance in the grand scheme of things. Still, the scenery on the outer side of the big pane of reinforced glass caused me to stand upright. An enormous mass of blinded light, floating the pitch black sky, was lighting up the endless close to the moon. I'd never be able to see that from inside the dome. Just then, I realized that a world like this existed right outside the place I lived for 20 years. Amazing. I uttered that without thinking and sighed, mocking myself for not realizing such a thing earlier. But my impression aside, my belly was empty and my stomach grumbled. The body was nothing if not honest. Mm, okay, yeah, let's just stop here. I mean, I feel like I can still read, but I'm not sure how long it's gonna be. And to be honest, I'm a little started feeling a pain in my throat. So yeah, I think it's gonna be better to stop here. Well, at least it's one thing we actually gonna continue on Saturday. It's not that bad. Mm, maybe we aren't gonna get, or at least do our Saturday stream a little bit longer. See you. But for now, goodbye. Have a nice day.